Okay, so up until this point, we've been stressing the idea that production is wealth because the more that we produce, the more that we can consume. And then we said, okay, well, what actually are the things that produce these goods and services? And we've said the factors of production, right? So basically, this is what we're going to talk about. And the main crux of this video is the factor of production, which is land. So again, just to repeat, we've already said production is real wealth in an economy. Why? Well, how do we measure a standard of living? What we can consume. So the more we produce, the richer we are, because the more we produce, the more we can consume. But what produces goods and services? And the answer is the factors of production. So let's remind ourselves of a definition which we already know. The factors of production, these are the four resources that allow an economy to produce its output: land, labour, capital and enterprise, or land, labour, capital and entrepreneurship. All right, so these are the things that produce the output that you and I enjoy. Essentially, the factors of production are the things that produce the stuff that you and I enjoy, and we already have said it, they are land, labour, capital and enterprise. We always repeat myself just in the hope that it'll go further and further and deeper into your mind. Okay, so a good question to ask is, what is land? Well, this is another definition that you really should learn off word perfect: the physical factor of production. Now that's one way of looking at it, but it'll manifest itself in different ways. So what I want you to do, as all these definitions, you learn them word perfect. You can regurgitate them onto the page, no problem, but you need to understand what you're talking about. It consists of natural resources, some of which are renewable, absolutely, for example wheat, and some of which are non-renewable, for example iron ore. Okay, now let's have a look at this. Essentially what I want you to understand is land is anything provided by nature, okay, which is used in the production of simple goods and services. Now don't forget, you will write down exactly this definition here, but that's what I want you to know. It's anything provided by nature. And therefore, the thing is that certain things that are provided by nature aren't inherently physical. Now, am I questioning the IB definition? Well, yes, I am. But am I telling you not to write it down? No, I'm not. I'm saying write it down. So some of the examples of land, okay, it's anything provided by nature really, right, are fields, forests, rivers, yeah, they're all physical, lakes, sea, soil, all of that's physical. But the weird thing is now climate. And think about this, the climate in Florida is far better at growing, let's say, oranges than the climate in the Arctic. All right, so that is an example of land that Florida has, which gives it what's called a comparative advantage in growing oranges compared to potentially other countries. We've also got animals, because yes, it's a gift of nature, right? It's something that nature has provided, all right? And these things are renewable resources, and they can be used in the production of goods and services. All right, so constantly remember that. I mean, Clydesdale horses were very famous for pulling carriages and carts and things like that. And also fish. I mean, you can catch fish, you can sell it as a meal in a restaurant. Okay, you can have a goldfish as a pet. All of these are producing a service or a good which is enhancing our ability to consume. Now, moving on, we can subdivide land, this is from the definition of the IB, into the following two categories. One are renewable resources and the other one are non-renewable resources. So renewable resources are those goods which, if properly managed, their supply can be replenished. Okay, so everything that can be planted again, grow again, recover, all right? So anything that can be replenished. So we're talking about water, forests, fish stocks, and soil, right? If we don't overexploit them, they can be replenished. So an increase in the use or consumption of these resources should not be of great concern, as more of these resources can or may be made available in the future. But non-renewable resources are those resources which cannot be replenished, okay? So we've got oil, coal, gas, mineral wealth. Once we use it, it's gone, okay? So any consumption of these things now means there's less available for tomorrow. But another thing that you should keep in mind, and this is why I'm saying may in the previous examples when we were talking about renewable resources, the overexploitation of renewable resources or their improper use, I mean, I think they're both the same thing, can also cause them to be non-renewable. And overfishing can cause these fish to become extinct. We're seeing that now. I mean, how many Netflix documentaries are they talking about how we're destroying the planet? And this is why I think that climate is a very good example of land. Because land is something that's provided by nature, okay? I always give the IB definition, that's fine, used in production of goods and services. So people in Florida, orange growers in Florida, use that climate to produce goods and services, namely oranges. But if we destroy the planet, right, which is a renewable resource. If we were just to stop burning fossil fuels and things like that now, I'm not trying to be lecturous, I'm just trying to give you a greater or deeper understanding of renewable resources, well then I'm sure the planet could rehabilitate itself, could renew itself, could get back to a healthier version of itself, and therefore climate itself is a renewable resource. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Now, every single payment received by the owner of a factor of production has its own name. Okay, and the payment that is received by the owners of land is called rent. All right, so any payment that is received by the owner of land is called rent. And that is it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helps, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video.